Hi, my name is Peng Huidong. I'm here to present the review of Better Data Labeling with Emblem, made by authors of Hui Tu, Zhe Yu, Tim Menzies. The paper they proposed a method of data labeling method, which is Emblem. Emblem is a data labeling method combining AI tools with human expertise. The AI tool first explore the software development process to label comments that are most problematic or have problems with the comment, like bugs or anything. And humans then apply their expertise to check those labels. Emblem can learn better ways to label which comments have actual problems to let human experts to look at. In this paper, the author studied 9 open source software projects, labeling with emblems, incremental application of and AI, human and AI partnership. It is around 8 times cheaper than existing methods, like manually manually finding the labels or the keyword labeling method. Emblem Emblem is a very effective method. In this proposed paper, Emblem betters the standard keyword labeling method and significantly improves the P20 and G scores performance in most of the projects studied in this paper. For many software analytic researchers, they will try to use their proposed methods on shared datasets. The reuse of datasets from other researchers have its advantages and disadvantages. One advantage is the repeatability of research results. Using the shared data is practical to repeat the researchers who publish the dataset, and for other researchers who use this dataset, they can compare and or improve based on the dataset provided. Another advantage is faster research. Collecting data and classifying comments from projects is very slow if you do it by yourselves or your team. And from multiple open source projects, it will take a very long time. Reusing the old labels will save a significant amount of time for the researchers. Although there are advantages of reuse of datasets, there's also disadvantages, like reusing the old mistakes that was already in the dataset, because human expertise or researchers, they often make mistakes when labeling. Manually reviewing software comments is a complex process. The 9 projects studied in this paper have over 45,000 comments. Based on experience with running data labeling sessions with a team based on experience with running data labeling sessions with a team of graduate students. Labeling the 22,500 comment messages from these projects will require around 175 hours, average of 19.5 hours on a single project. And the 9 projects are just a sample of 59 computational science projects that the authors have found on GitHub. The authors also made assumption of the cost to complete all of the labeling with the criteria of crowdsourcing. The crowdsourcing are being paid. The criteria of the crowdsourcing are also include the payment of minimum age at $8.25 and assign 2 readers per issue report with a 50% call rate. Under these assumptions, labeling 500 projects of GitHub issues will require 39,000 hours and $320,000 of money. This is a significant amount of money and time for labeling. However, using the proposed method of emblem, we could only, with the human expertise, data analysis, and analysts, they will only have to read up 22% of the commits to find the remaining 95% of bug fixing comments for the problem. Which means that with the same task, it will only consume 4,940 hours and around $40,000 of money. For justification of this calculation, we will discuss it later in the slides. Emblem active learning method is to incrementally labeling a small subset of commits. Using those labels, a machine learner can find most of the remaining bug fixing commits. By using this method, human will only have to read in details of small percentage of the commits. To better understand active learning, consider a decision boundary between bug fixing commits and non-bug fixing commits, as shown in the figure. One way to quickly find the bug fixing commits would be having humans to review and assess a dozen of commits that fall into red region of this figure as accurate as possible. Another way to review the commits that are closest to the boundary is to review the commits that are closest to the boundary. Such active learner outperform supervised and semi-supervised learners and reduces effort required to get high recall in electronic discovery and reading research papers. The active learning framework includes human assessors in the loop to investigate and find most of the bugs fixing commits while keeping overall inspected commits to minimal. Most popular for labeling bug fixing commits have been only utilizing keywords labeling, but it may not be generalized to developers of different domains, since keywords tend to change over different domains. Emblem, in the other hand, it does not assume the patterns when labeling the commits, but instead it lets the human developers identify a few bug fixing commits. Then Emblem will learn the discriminating patterns and efficiently find the similar bug fixing problems. So it is a more informed learning method. Minimizing developers' effort is crucial. Emblem offers an incremental estimation of approximately how many more relevant bug fixing commits are left in the corpus. Without it, developers won't be able to know if it is a cost-effective method to continue labeling. When reading comments, Emblem initially uses uncertainty sampling to fast build a classification model for bug fixing or non-bug fixing commit message. It then switches to certainty sampling to find bug fixing commits. The machine learner, like SVM, use this feedback from humans to learn their models incrementally. These models are then used to sort the commit messages such that humans read the most relevant ones first and resort each time human offers a new label for a commit. Emblem execution steps is shown in the figure on the right, and the left figure is the nomenclature table. To generate M4 estimate, whenever the SVM model is retrained, Emblem makes temporary guess about the unlabeled examples. To turn these guesses into an estimate of the remaining bug fixing commits, Emblem would build a logistic regression model using the guesses. Using that regression model, Emblem makes new guesses on the remaining unlabeled examples. It then loops back to the step 1 until new guesses are the same as the guesses in the previous loop. Then use this logistic regression model to estimate the remaining number of examples in the data. The authors of this paper, their data was collected using their contacts in the computational science community from Molecular Science Software Institute and Science Gateway Community Institute. They were able to find 678 computational science projects. They selected 59 projects with sufficient software development information and selected 9 out of the 59 projects at random to create a manageable amount of projects to study. As shown in figure 5a, the bullet pointed are the projects they used in this paper. In the last column of table 5c is the percentage of commits that humans have to look through in order for Emblem to identify the 95% of bug fixing commits. The learners used in this study include logistic regression, random forest, SVM, fast and frugal trees, which we will use FFTs for short, and the SMOTE, SMOTE is not a learner, but it is a data preprocessor, which is a data imbalance correction algorithm. As we can see in the table of the learners they used in the paper, it performs as well or better from 6. It performs as well as the the FFT performs as well or better from 6 out of 9 projects for both G-scores and P20. So FFT builds the best classifier for buggy commits. Since FFTs have best classifier for buggy commits, we will use FFT to test effectiveness of labeling method, keyword, and emblem. The table here compares the predictive performance using FFTs with emblem and FFTs with standard keyword labeling. Area highlighted in gray denotes a superior performance. A majority of the cases showing 7 out of 9 projects for both G-score and P20, FFTs with emblem performs the best. A research question was brought to the case was how close are the emblem and keyword labeling to human labels? To answer the question, we need to know that software maintenance is a continuing process, and software developers have the domain expertise in understanding the commit logs. Human labeled commit logs serve as the ground truth labels. Comparing different labeling methods of software engineering keywords and proposed emblem against the ground truth labels, as we can see the accuracy of emblem and keyword labeling against human labels. Emblem against ground truth labels in table 8, the results are apparent. Emblem can recall most of the labels that closest to the ground truth labels, up to 99%. and having the lowest false alarm rate of 17%. Notably here, in the case for project LAMMPS, the false alarm rate for keywords labeling was really bad. It has a 73% false alarm rate. Overall, keyword labeling results in lower recall and higher false alarm rates. To answer the question of how much effort can actually be saved by Emblem, during the experiences in manual labeling the above studies, the observation of table 11 and 12, the two tables detail the time and cost required to complete the work. Using the information we can justify the calculation as discussed from the previous slides, as here, as we discussed previously here. For large labeling tasks, the methods of this paper can reduce the resources required for labeling by approximately 8 times. As seen in table 12, Emblem can saved from manual labeling for both money and time from $320,000 to $40,000. And the time consumption was reduced from 39,000 hours to 4,940 hours. The result is achieved from committing to find 95% of bug fixing commits for Emblem from only reading 22% of the commits corpus. To conclude this paper, from bug fixing or non-bug fixing labels, the ground truth of software bugs is obtained. However, using different kinds of software, using different kinds of software, there's different kinds of languages to describe their bugs. Hence, the standard labeling with keyword can perform badly when applied to new softwares. As we see, there's the tables before. The false alarm rate for keyword labeling, it can go up to 73%. Another way to find the labels is to have humans manually read all the commits and label them. As discussed previously, it would take an enormous amount of time and money for the researchers to label them. Although the researchers have the pre-labeled datasets, which is the shared datas, but it is still too costly to curate and certify the information they're given. Therefore, a more efficient way to find and certify the labels is to use incremental AI tools that learns an appropriate models. In this paper, it applied and evaluated an AI and human partnership method, an incremental SVM method, which is called Emblem. By providing labels of an example, AI can update the internal model and can be used to look ahead to find the next most relevant bug fixing commits. Emblem is able to learn a model that can find nearly almost all of the remaining bug fixing commits. It is around 95% of them. When labeling with human labels as ground truth, Emblem maximizes the recall and minimizes false alarm rates for buggy commits. Moreover, Emblem provides higher quality data for better performance of the prediction model. And that is all for my presentation. Thank you all for listening, and if you have any questions, please leave comments in discussion. Here is the reference. Thank you.